This recording should help you understand how to go about doing your actual lab write-up from beginning to end. I'm going to assume that you have nothing in your data file. If you do, just make a couple extra pages, get it down until you get to the point where you're ready to put in your 30-point, or not 30-point, but 30-step procedure that you've already shown to me. It should be in a data file somewhere. So, where do we start? We're going to go to Learning Center and Labs, because we're going to need two things from the labs, and that is we're going to click on this blue line, and that will open up two files that you're going to need to use. First is the rubric. I'm going to open that up. Okay? Then I'm going to go back. You see my tabs here. I'm going back to Lab Details, and then I'm going to do the printer icon, not the PDF. Yesterday I was having troubles in front of first period trying to copy something, and that was because I was using the PDF file. The printer file works just great. So my next job is to open up a Word document. Now, I just had a failed recording because of problems that I don't want to even talk about, but I'm going to just show you opening up Word fresh. Okay? If you have your procedures in here already, then what you want to do, let's say these are your procedures, and it goes on for 30 steps. Hold on to your control key, tap enter twice. What that's going to do is put you down 2 pages, and when you look in this view, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. You see? Here's the first page, second page, and third page. Now, if you're not familiar with how to do this kind of thing, please don't worry about it. Just do it as you would normally do it in page width if you're in Word, and we're going to start from the very beginning. If you have the procedures, or I'm sorry, the rubric already in here, you don't need to do anything. But I am going to show you how you would get that. You hold down the Alt key in the tab, and that's going to take you to show you where all the screens are that are open on your computer. I tend to have a lot of them. Okay? So I want to go here. This is the window that has my browser. Now, you may not have that, but as long as you hold down your Alt key, this will stay here for you. So here we go. I'm going to click this, and there I am. So what do I want to do? I want to get the rubric. So I'm going to the rubric tab. Remember, this is where we got started. We opened this up, and then we opened this up. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, and when I get it over, I'm going to show you how to get your name in this whole thing. So I'm going to click to the left of first, and then I'm going to hold on to my left mouse button, and I'm going to leave out those last 2 lines where there's revision in page 2, and here I go, let go. And now I'm going to hold down my control key and type C. Now I want to go back to Alt and then Tab. I'm holding down Alt as I hit the tab, and I go right back to my Word document. And now I want to be sure I'm clicked in, and I am. And here comes the rubric. Okay, everything is fine with the rubric, except I need to get this guy down and go up here in the top right. Whoops. Okay, what just happened is I need to go up here to Home in Word and stop this from going on. So I'm going to click the U to get the underline gone, and also the bold to get that gone. And now I'm going to tab over to where I'm going to put in my name, date, and period. And I'm going to type in Swigger, because this is mine. Didn't spell my name very well, did I? Okay, and then I'm going to type in period 1, or date, and the date will be the due date, which is 10/20/17, and then whatever period you're in. So this will be your period. And you type in, if you're in first period, that'll be a 1, and so on. So now let's see if this is all on one page. It is. So let's get rid of the junk, and the junk is page 1 and this revision thing. Okay, I don't need that. And now I'm going to hit Control Enter, and now I've moved this to a new page. So, and I'm hitting the delete key right now to get this stuff back up to the top. And now I've got, how many pages is this going on? Not so good. So I need to get this all on one page, and the way you do that is by changing the font size. So first we're going to highlight everything. There we go. And then we're going to look up at our font. See, it's up here on the home key if you're in Word. I don't know what it is in Google Docs. So depending on what you have, this is what you're going to be doing. And you're going to change that font size to 12, and you'll see that everything now is on one page that I just highlighted over 2 pages. And you see that page is blank, and I'm good to go. I've got my rubric as the first 2 pages of my document. Alright, now I'm going to hit Control key and Enter to go down to the next page, where I'm going to start my actual write-up. Oops, I put in an extra page by accident. So I can go up here and hit the delete key once, twice, however many times I need to bring what I just put down there back up. Alright, I gotta see what I just did. Okay, when you get a situation like this, I'm going to fix it and I'll get right back to the recording. Okay, now I'm ready to go. I'm going to get my next part into my document. So we get to copy some stuff for free. So I'm going to go back to the rubric that's online, and I'm going to look at it and see what I need next. I've just put in the rubric. Now I need purpose, materials, and chemical reactions. Please don't talk. I'm doing a recording. And so I see I'm going to need purpose, materials, and chemical reactions. Well, guess where I can get those? Remember, we started here, and we opened this guy up. Oh, that's the guy that you got as a handout. Only this is the electronic version, which is much nicer, because now I can copy this whole thing. And because I'm in Word, all of my copying is going to work okay. So I'm going to pick up now purposes, materials, chemical reactions, everything. Okay, except procedure. I'll get that word procedure because that's where I'm going to put my actual procedure that I have written already that has 30 steps. So here now you see we're filling in the space between your procedures that you've already written and the rubric that you already have in your document, and now we're adding to it. So I'm going to type Control. I'm going to hold Control down and type C. That will copy it. And now I'm going to go back to my Word document, and I hold down Alt and the Tab key, and I can see where my Word document is. There it is. It says it right up there. Okay, now I hit Control V to paste, and look what I'm going to get for free. Okay, all of that is in there now. I've got my purpose, I've got my materials, I've got my chemical reactions, and now I am going to copy in here your 30-step procedure. Now you can see we're getting close to the end, folks. This is great. So I've copied my 30-step procedure in now, and I'm going to go to the end of wherever that led me, and I'm going to put my cursor there while I hold down the Control key and type Enter. And okay, I'm making this recording during the beginning of period 1, so it's a little rough in terms of interruptions. I apologize for that, but we're going to get this done. Now, the next thing that I need is I'm going to go back to my rubric, and I want to see what's next. Okay? I've got all of this stuff in. What is the next thing that I'm going to need? So I hold down the Alt key and hit the tab, and now I'm back up to First Law Lab. What am I going to copy next? Okay, I've got my procedure in already, and I'm going to need observations. Now I'm just going to take observations, the word, and put it in there. Everything between observations and the data table is not copied. You're going to make your own observations underneath where I'm taking that title. So I'm holding down the Tab key, I'm holding down the Alt key and I'm hitting the Tab key, and as I hit the Tab key and hold the Alt key, I can go back to my document. Okay, it says Word 1 document. Okay, so I'm going back in there, and here is where I'm putting the word observations, and underneath that you're going to put whatever observations you had. So I've got my observations now. I've got the title there. Your observations are probably going to be down a few pages if you put in those extra pages as I suggested at the beginning of the recording. So here we go. We're going to write. I'm going to leave a little space here, and this is where you write your observations. Observations are what you saw during the lab, and I've got several examples in the lab sheet itself that you used. So observations being done, the next thing is the data table. So I know that, but I'm going to show you where I would go to know that. And I'm going to hold down the Alt key and press Tab, and now I'm looking back at the online version of First Law Lab sheet that I gave you when you walked in for the lab. So I'm going to click on that, and now I can get the data table. And since first period is in front of me right now, I'm going to make this comment. Yesterday I couldn't do that copy because it was in a PDF document. For some reason, the data table will not copy when you're in a PDF. It won't work. But when you're in the Word version, everything works well. And I've gone through that earlier in the recording. Now you see what I'm doing? I'm highlighting everything from right here. Here we go. See where my cursor is? Left click and hold, highlight. You've got to go down below the data table or you won't get it, or you'll get it and it won't work. So you got to get 1 or 2 lines below the data table, and now with that I can hold down my Control and type C, and that will copy it. And now Alt and press the Tab key and you get this display. And now I can go back to my Word document. And now here's the magic. Control V, and you have a data table that you can type in. This is wonderful. See? I can type whatever I need on every single line. So now you take your copy that you did during the lab, and you just take all the stuff that you did during the lab and type it in here. Okay? And then you go down below. Don't click here. It's not going to work right. You'll be sorry if you do. And I'll show you what happens. It just adds more lines in here. And to undo that, you can do Control Z, or you can do your back button, and that will take care of the problem. So I'm clicking in below, and now after the data table I want to go to a new page. To do that, I hold down the Control key and hit the Enter key. And now, what's the next thing I'm going to put in my document? I'm going to look back now, holding the Alt key and typing Tab, the Tab key, and I'm going to go back to that rubric. Oh, this isn't the rubric, but it gave me the screen that has all the tabs on it. First Law of Chemistry. There's my rubric. Now I've got rubric, purpose, materials, chem reactions, procedure that I already typed, and the observations that I just put in. If I were you, I would have put them in. And now we're going to get into conclusions. And in class today, we're talking about the difference between observations and conclusions. But I'm going to need conclusions. So I'm going to just copy this, Control C, and then I'm going to do the Alt Tab magic and go back to my Word document. And this is where I'm going to put my conclusions. And that goes right after what I just put in. Once I've done that in the electronic document, I am done with the computer part. Some of you will need printing. I would appreciate it if you could come tomorrow for that. The lab is not due till Friday. Those of you who can finish it early, bring them in. If you need a printer, I will be glad to share with you. I have no problem with that. And so this is where we go for conclusions. And the next thing that we're going to need, let's go back, Alt and Tab, and hold the Alt key, and you get this. So I'm going back to the the online version of stuff, and you see the last thing I'm putting in is the 10-step handwritten procedure that has a grade on it. That paper is worth 10 points to you in this lab. It's a big payoff for having done that. Okay? And if you haven't done it, that's unfortunate. So everything is good to go. We have finished the formal lab write-up, and I hope this makes it possible for you to do it. Even if you don't understand word processing completely, hopefully this will bridge the gap for you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you do well on your write-up.